Hi everyone, welcome. It's Loren from the Ellinesscrafts channel. For those of you that are new, welcome. Thank you for joining me. I have had a number of new subscribers recently. I'm not quite sure where everyone is coming from, but thank you so much for taking the time to check out my channel. If you would like to share who has directed you to my video podcast or channel, then that would be great, and then I can say thank you to whoever has kind of sent you over here. But otherwise, just so you know, this is a knitting and crocheting podcast. I do tend to do some cross stitching, and I have been known to do a little bit of sewing, so if you're interested in those, then do stay tuned. I have, let's see, I've got an Instagram page and of course my YouTube page, and you can find me as Ellinesscrafts on those two. I also am on Ravelry, and you can find me again as Ellinesscrafts on there, but I also have on Ravelry a group, and in the group we have chatter, we discuss maybe some issues that we're having with particular patterns or recommend patterns. We also have a make along going on at the moment. Actually, I've got two going on at the moment, and the first one is the winter warmers knit along or crochet along or make along, and that is ending at the end of February, so do get your knits in there. For that knit along, crochet along, that is mainly that's for accessories, so not for anything big, just accessory sized items for that one. There are prizes to be won for that, so if you're interested, go and check that out. I'll leave information in the description box below. I also am co-hosting the Pen, Hook and Needles channel's make along, which is the Ready Set Go 2019 make along, over on my Ravelry group, so do check that out as well. There will be prizes for that one also, but that one ends at the end of March, and for that one you can just put anything in there as long as it has started. As long as you started making it from January this year. Let's see, go and check out all the rules. Make sure you read all the rules before you enter the two make alongs, and then, you know, participate as you like and have a bit of fun. Maybe meet some new people over there and find some new patterns. What else? Oh, I forgot to mention, I upload on a monthly basis. At the moment I'm not in a position to be uploading more regularly than that, because I have other things going on, and I find that, or I think that it's very difficult to keep up with podcasts if it's like on a weekly basis, or a couple, you know, every couple of days, that kind of thing. I get a bit overwhelmed when I see people's videos coming up in my feed, and maybe there's like 2 or 3 and I haven't watched the first one, and I get a bit overwhelmed by so many different podcasts, because I do like to watch them, but I find it difficult to try and keep up. So my one, I've tried to make it organise it in such a way that it's on a monthly basis, so you have a whole month to catch up with my video, because there's so many other people that you might like to watch, and I know that time is precious. So yeah, so I try to upload just once a month to give you enough time to watch it at your leisure, you know, and not feel overwhelmed by loads and loads of videos coming from me. So yeah, so that's that. So I'm going to go straight into finished objects. It's snowing here in the UK. It's heavily snowing, and people are stuck on motorways and all that kind of thing, and I have been really wanting to make a lot of jumpers and cardigans and things like that, which is not like me, but I've kind of found I don't know, I've just got an interest in making lots of jumpers and warm winter woolies at the moment, and so I'm kind of buying lots of yarn and perhaps starting things that I probably shouldn't be starting. But anyway, let me start by sharing with you my finished objects, and yeah, and then we can get into the video, so give me a moment. Okay, I'm kind of organised. So I have worked on finished objects. I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 finished objects, but I can't show you all of them because I have gifted some of them already. So I've worked on 3 hats, which are from the Four Sisters Toque's pattern, which is by Cozy Up Knits. And one, I've done the Chrissy hat, the Sarah Here Don't Care hat, and the Katie hat, and I have yet to do the Jamie hat because that one is cables, and I think I need time to actually sit and digest the instructions for cabling before I can even bother to attempt that. So I do want to do it, but I need quiet time to concentrate because I haven't done cables in such a long time. So yeah, so I've worked those 3 hats. I'll insert pictures of what they look like. You can also check out my Ravelry page. I used a Berger de France Parisienne yarn in the colour Vitrine, which is a grey yarn, which you should be able to see. It's a nice like grey kind of speckled yarn, which is really nice and very soft. And I enjoyed making those hats, and they have been gifted. So then I went on to knit my own pattern, the biscuit hat, and I used a red sparkle yarn by James C. Brett in the colour Claret, and I can show you what the yarn looked like because I've got some left. That's the yarn, and it's got that nice sparkle, and I thought that would work really nicely for a beanie, so I've done that, and that one also has been gifted, and I will insert a picture so you can see what it looks like up there. Then I moved on to a pair of socks, which are a test knit for myself. I'm working on a sock pattern. I think Marlisha from Pennock Needles channel mentioned it in her video, that I'm working on a sock pattern at the moment, but it's not yet finalised, and I haven't sent it out to test knitters or anything like that. I'm just working on it myself, and I have finished my test knit pair of socks, which is I've used in this colour, such a beautiful yarn, and I had some yarn left over, so I decided to make a hat. So here's the hat. So the hat is in a snap beanie, and the pattern is by Caitlin Griffin, and the yarn I use for this is Jelly Beans yarn, which is a merino nylon sock yarn, and the colour is Summer Berries. I think I showed a picture on my Instagram page a while back. Such a beautiful yarn. I've made this in a baby size because I'm going to give this to a newborn baby in my family. I put my little tag on. Such a nice easy knit, and look at that. It's a nice kind of gathered. Can't really flatten that out. I don't have one of those little head things that you can put your hat on. I don't think I have space for one of those, but I would love to have one, but I just don't have space for it. But yeah, so I've done this. The yarn is beautifully soft and it didn't stain my fingers or anything. I'm loving the yarn. I was actually thinking about buying another skein of this yarn to make a hat for the mother of the baby, so they can have matching hats. But yeah, I have been buying quite a lot of yarn lately, so I'm kind of holding off on that for the time being. But that's those. Let's see. I have been working on, this is the other thing. I've seen people doing colour work, and I was thinking with the cold coming and the snow and everything, I really want to have to be nice and snuggled up and warm. So I've got in mind to do lots of jumpers and stuff, but for a start I thought I would make myself some mittens because I wanted something to keep my hands warm. My eczema is really flaring up on my hands, and I wanted something to keep my hands from really getting overly dry and cracked, because it really hurts when they're like that. So I have a Selby pattern in my library by Skein Deer Knits, and I decided to use it to make a pair of mittens for myself, because the last ones I made for myself I ended up giving away. So this is the pattern, Selby mittens by Skein Deer Knits. There you go. And I had some yarn left over in the cream, a cream yarn, and who is it by? I think it's King Cole Price Wise double knitting yarn in the colour Natural, which is the cream colour. And then my daughter had this blue yarn, and I don't know what the brand is, but she had this blue yarn that she wasn't using, so I figured, you know what, blue's my favourite colour, I'm going to use that and make myself a pair of mittens. So I did. And that's how they turned out. So this is what they look like. I have made mistakes, okay? So if you can see mistakes on these mittens, then yes, I know I've made mistakes. I don't care. I just wanted something warm to put on my hands. So this is how, they're quite long. Just so you know, they come, you know, right down here. Bearing in mind my wrist is all the way up here. They're right down here. So it's nice and warm underneath my coat. And then the only problem I have is with these, my watch is on there and it's kind of a bit bulky over the watch. But still, that's how they look. So I think I've done a lot better than I have previously done making these gloves. The bits down the side, look, I didn't make mistakes with the alternating colour on the sides, which I was pleased about. But I think because I've done these before and I'm a bit more aware of colour work, I was a little bit more aware of how the pattern was supposed to look. And I've read, I've done chart reading a little more since I attempted these. I'm not perfect at chart reading, but I did a lot better than I had done on the last ones, I think. And so let's see. One of these has got a mistake on the, yeah, this one. You can probably see a mistake in the pattern there. Okay, this one was the first one I did, and this one was the second one. And I made a mistake on the pattern on this one. As you can see at the top there, I missed a row or something. I went out of sync somehow. But at that point, I think I'd started knitting above it, and I decided I'm not going to go back and change it here. I'm not going to go back and rip all that out and change it because it's stranded, it's difficult, and I wanted my mittens. I wanted mittens to wear. So I just carried on. And you can probably see on the wrists here, I messed up the pattern here as well on the first one. And I didn't even know that I'd done that until maybe, I don't know, I got up to here somewhere. And I was just like, I'm not going back to fix it. These are just for me. I'm not selling them. No one expects them to be perfect. All I want is warmth for my hands. So yeah, I used afterthought thumbs instead of doing what she suggested in the pattern, because I remember, and I looked on my Ravelry page from the last time I did this, that I had a lot of difficulty picking up stitches and starting the thumbs from stitches that I picked up when I did it the way the pattern suggested. So I watched a YouTube video at that time on how to do afterthought thumbs, and so that's what I did. You basically just knit a piece of spare thread through the stitches and then continue in the pattern, and come back to it later. Take out your, what do you call it, not spare thread, waste yarn, that's it. You take out your waste yarn and then you put your stitches back on the needle, and you've got the two sets of stitches above and below that you need, and you just continue in the pattern. So I would definitely recommend the afterthought thumb pattern. I did make a bit of a mistake, I think, on this one, but on this one it's a lot more continuous, the pattern. As I said, like I said before, I did this one first, this one was second. So this was like a, oh, I haven't done colour work in a long time. Let's see how I get on with that. And then by that time I was like, oh, okay, well, I've already done that one. I'm not going to make that mistake again. Be a bit more careful. So, yeah, apart from this bit up there. Never mind. So those are my mittens. I've been wearing them, which is why they're looking a bit fluffy. The tension on these is not great. You can see there, my tension on the blue is a lot looser than on the cream colour, but that is because I need some more practice for one, but also I was using continental style with the blue colour, the contrast yarn, and English style with the cream yarn, and clearly my tension in the two different types of knitting is different, so that's something I need to work on a bit, but for the time being it's fine. I just wanted some mittens to wear, so I'm good with that. I think that's it. Those are all my finished objects. That is it. I have been casting on. This is what my problem has been. I've been casting on and I've been buying yarn. And let me see. I'm just going to try and find it on my find my whips page. What's going on here? Whips on my iPad. give me a moment and then we'll move into whips. For whips, you know I'm working on my memory blanket, which is in this lovely bag. I think it's a Woolly Mama Yarns bag that I got from Etsy. And this is growing. I keep saying to myself, oh, I'm not going to do any more. And then I keep going, oh, let me just add another row. Let me add another row. Let's make it a bit longer. Let's make it a bit wider. So far, I'm working upwards now. I've stopped working out sideways. So I've done a couple of rows to the top. It's too big to show you the whole thing. Maybe I'll try and take a picture and insert it. But this is where I am at the moment. And if you want to know the yarns that I have been using, check out the information on the Ravelry page, because there's just way too many yarns for me to go through a whole list of them. And some of them I can't even remember where they came from, and I've just not had the opportunity to, well, I've just not been able to put them on Ravelry to share that. But this is growing. This is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And with all the new yarn I've been buying, I might just get bigger still. I'm not sure when to finish that, but I have in mind a person who that can go to once I've done it. So that's that. Okay, the next thing, my long line cardigan by Hohi Locatelli. So I posted a picture on Instagram sharing with you my dilemma. I had finished the body of the cardigan and run out of yarn. And because it's a hand-dyed yarn, I contacted the seller and tried to get a hold of some more, and she had, what happened, the people that make the dye had discontinued that particular colour dye, and so she wasn't able to reproduce it. So she did the best she could to make an alternative, or as another skein as close to this colour as possible. Now this is such a beautiful, beautiful yarn. Look at that. It's got so many blues and purples in there. I absolutely love this, and I wanted the whole cardigan out of the same thing. However, it just wasn't meant to be, and I guess I should have been a little bit quicker at starting the project, for one, and realising that I was going to run out of yarn. Two, I shouldn't have used some of the yarn in another project before I'd even finished this one. And three, I should have perhaps just been a bit more organised all round, really. So yeah, so I don't have the yarn to finish it. I put a question out on Instagram asking you guys what you thought about colours to actually use for the sleeves, because it's the sleeves that were missing. So I got to that point and I had no sleeves, and then I sewed in the yarn that I did have, sorry, not sewed, knitted on the yarn that I did have for the sleeve, and I didn't like the way it looked. It was just too much colour, too many colour changes. It just looked like it clashed to me. So to cut a long story short, the suggestion was to go with a navy blue yarn, which I found. So I went to my local yarn shop yesterday and I found this yarn, Sirdar Country Style Yarn Wool Blend 4-ply, and it's a very dark blue, and although it has, I mean, you guys tell me what you think. This yarn that I'm working with, the beautiful hand-dyed yarn, is merino and nylon. This one is nylon, wool and acrylic blend. I know a lot of people don't like acrylic, but I'm just desperate to get my sleeves in, so I bought a couple of balls of this and I've started knitting on it, and now I am here. So my sleeve is going to be a navy blue colour, and the body will be this beautiful varied yarn here. Now I don't think it's not perfect, but it's the closest kind of matchy-ish kind of, it's the closest colour I could get to making it look like it's part of the cardigan, and it wasn't an afterthought, but do you know what I'm trying to say? it's the best I can do, because I really don't want to have to rip out the cardigan. I don't want to have to rip out all of this work. This is all fingering weight yarn, so it took forever to get this whole body done, and I don't want to have to rip it out and then repurpose the yarn. So I decided to just knit in the navy blue and see how I get on. I mean, it's not perfect, but I think it's passable. What do you think? I think it's passable. I think when I'm wearing it, it'll be fine. Just draws attention to, hopefully the attention will be on the colours from this, and the sleeves will just kind of like be a background. But yeah, so that's where I am with that. I've just started the sleeve. And my first wrap and turns, guys. I've never done wrap and turn before. I've done like all different, well, not all different, I've done different ways of doing the heels on socks, but I've never done the actual wrap and turn. And I watched a couple of videos and gave it a go, and it looks alright. It looks alright. I have picked up stitches a little bit unevenly in places, so I think I'm going to have to do a little bit of sewing. But yeah, on the whole, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it. We shall see what it looks like. It's the light is starting to disappear for some reason. It's not as can you see it? There we are. My wrap and turns. It just feels a bit dark in here today, but probably because of the snow. So that's that. So I'm using this yarn to fill in the sleeves, and once I've done that, I'll be able to wear it. Yay! Can't wait to get that off the needles and start wearing that. So that's one whip. I have some socks on the go for my daughter, which are again a test knit of my new sock pattern. So I guess I can't really show you that, but the yarn I'm using, I can show you the yarn. I'm using Berry Lips by Woolly Mama Yarns, which is this nice pink colour. I'm kind of hoping that by the time, when I've actually managed to finalise the pattern and I'm happy with it, I will have a number of different pairs of socks to show you that I have worked on, that I have used as like testers for this sock pattern. Yeah, so look out for that. My next whip, let's see, a lace top. While I was frustrated with the long line cardigan that I just showed you, I decided to start a new project. And I had this pattern in, which magazine is it? Can't even remember the magazine. Simply Knitting magazine. This pattern came up in Simply Knitting magazine. Not sure what issue it is, because it doesn't say it on the bottom, but it's the Place in the Sun top. It is actually available on Ravelry as well, in case you're interested. But I decided to start this because I have some leftover cotton yarn, which is Bamboo King Cole Cotton. This one here in the colour Wisteria, from a cardigan I made last year for summer. I have quite a few balls of yarn left over. Well, I say quite a few. I've got 3. And so I thought I would give that a try to use up that yarn. And hopefully you can see it's got lace work at the top there, which is also on the back. So I made a start on that. And it's just, I mean, I've only got this far. It's done on small needles, so the rib section is a 2.25mm needle, but because it's so big, I'm having to use my higher sharps, which are so bendy. Look at that, they're all just twisted, so I can't get it to be straight. But that's it, that's my starting point. The pattern is actually written to be worked flat, but I don't like working stocking stitch flat these days, since I have become a little bit more experienced at working things in the round. So I decided I was just going to join the two together, the front and back together, and just work in the round. So once I've done the ribbing, and I go on to do the body, and the body is just plain stocking stitch all the way up until here, and then you have the detail. So hopefully, I mean, the shaping is the same for the back and the front, so it should be an easy enough knit to do. It's just going to take time because it's 4-ply. But I'm hoping to have that finished by the summer. By the time it gets warmer, basically, I'll have it to wear. So I've started that just in my frustration with the long line cardigan. So that's another whip. The next thing I have is the Bark Lines shawl, which is in my, what bag is this? Tudor Rose Craft Studio bag, which is a kind of a canvas bag. I like drawstring bags, in case you hadn't noticed. So anyway, I had put this on hold. This was hibernating because another project I ran out of yarn. It just, I don't know. I mean, this has got to be my steep learning curve, running out of yarn. It's just been driving me crazy because I've been wanting to finish this up so I could wear it when it was cold. And now, of course, it's cold and I still don't have it to wear. So, whatever. So, I ran out of yarn, and rather than trying to finish up the yarn, actually let me show you the pattern. As I said, the pattern is Bark Lines, which is this one by Toque Locatelli, and I've made one of these before. This is the second one. This one's for me. The last one was a gift for Christmas. So the yarn is Rhapsody Yarns yarn. I haven't been showing you the labels, have I? Sorry. The yarn is by Rhapsody Yarns, and the colour is Gathering Storm, which is a superwash merino yarn. And this batch looks like this. This is what I had left, and I felt that I wasn't going to be able to finish the border with just this tiny bit because the border takes a long time. So I ordered another skein, and that one looks like this. So as you know, with hand-dyed yarns, sorry, I'm in a bit of a tangle here. With hand-dyed yarns, they can vary, and so I've got a more bluish toned one and a more greyish toned one, which is fine because I'm just using it to finish up the border of the actual shawl. So I changed the needles because I wanted the other needles for other things. I was using like the extenders on my interchangeables, and I took them off of that because I wanted to use the different cables, because I had two cables connected together and I wanted to use one of those cables for another project. So I've changed them back to my fixed Chalgoos. These are on a 4.5mm needle. So anyway, actually that's the top. This is the top. It's a triangular shawl like this. It's got lace, it's got twisted rib, you can see there, and the bottom bit, the border, is looking like this. I started the border yesterday evening, and it's difficult to show it on the needles because they don't stretch enough, they're not long enough, but let me just show you a section of it. So that's part of the border. You can see it's got lace here. If I can hold up, let me see if I can hold up some white paper, you'll be able to see it better. There you go. Hopefully you can see that. It's got white lace bits here. I did make a bit of a mistake with some of the lace sections when I was doing the yarn overs. I did a row of yarn overs, and then when the pattern said that I was to just knit over the yarn overs, I was actually knitting into the back of them, so the yarn overs were like, the holes were disappearing, and I thought, hang on a second, that's not supposed to be like that. These are actually supposed to be holes, aren't they? So I had to just, I carried on, but then I just started working the pattern properly as it should have been done. I just forgotten how to do lace work. I don't know. I just was eager to get this going. So anyway, I can't really see a difference between the last yarn and the new one, colour wise. So I think it works perfectly well. And what's going to happen, hopefully, is once I've finished the border, and I've got maybe 20 rows to go, once I finish the border on this, I should have some of this left. And the plan is to use some of this, use what's left to make a hat for myself, or possibly some mittens or something like that. But I wanted to kind of accessorise the two, so I've got a shawl, yeah, shawl and a hat, I think, shawl and a hat. And then I'll have a matching set, which is cool. So yeah, so that is my last work in progress. I think that's my last work in progress. Those are the things I've been working on anyway. So, I guess you... Oh, look at me moving the camera. Sorry. I guess you must be eager to see the yarn that I have been buying. So let's move over into incoming. So, my battery is low, so I'm going to rush through the incoming section. So I have been planning to buy all kinds of, well, to make all kinds of things. As I said, I want to make sweaters. I've been buying yarn just because it was on sale. I bought a couple of yarns which are for a giveaway, but I'm just going to show you the stuff that I've bought that I'm going to use for projects for myself. I think the giveaway yarns, I'm going to show those separately, maybe in the next video or something. So first up, I saw this yarn by Felt Fusion on Etsy and I fell in love with it. It's a single ply fingering weight yarn and the colourway is Forest Walk, and it's a lovely green with some browns in there, lots of different greens actually, and you can see that, lots of different greens with brown, bit of cream, maybe a little bit of turquoise blue, and I thought this was so pretty. I had to have it. I don't have any green socks, and I thought this would look really nice as a pair of socks for myself. However, since buying it, I'm kind of thinking, socks, really? Maybe something else. Why not something else? But I'm not sure yet. So this is just going to sit in my stash. I think I'm not decided if I'm actually going to unwind this and wind it up into a ball yet, or just hang on to it. It's actually a sparkle merino single. I forgot. Yeah, I'm sitting here looking at it while I'm talking to you and I realise it's got sparkle in it. Can you see the sparkle? Can you see the sparkle? Yeah, you can see a little bit of sparkle there. Let's cut my face out and you can see some of the sparkle. There we go. So it's a sparkle sock yarn. So yeah, so I thought that might be nice. Then Biff Sugar Yarns had, I think they had a sale on, and that is Biff Sugar Yarns. That's what I'm saying. And they had a sale of this lovely Gone to Earth colourway, which is a superwash merino, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. It's 100 gram and I got 464 yards out of this, and look at that, gorgeous browns, and yeah, lovely. These are 4-ply, so I'm trying to decide whether to, actually doesn't say 4-ply, but it is 4-ply. Gone to Earth, 4-ply yarn, sock yarn, and it's really soft. Trying to decide whether to pair it with this and make a shawl or something. I don't think I'd get a top out of that because that's just 300 grams. I'm not sure that I'd get a top out of this, but I'm undecided what to do with these, but I like them together. I think they're nice, quite nice colour-wise together, so we shall see. Oh, I've got another finished object. Oopsie. Never mind. I'll show you that next time. So that's that. Then I picked up, let's see, what else have I got? Some Craft House Magic yarn, because I want to make a cardigan. I was watching Ellie's podcast from Craft House Magic, and she was wearing a beautiful cardigan in the colourway You Spin Me Round. Now, I've had the colourway You Spin Me Round before, and I made a shawl out of it, but I only got one skein, and because it was only, I got one skein, which is 100 grams, and it was only enough to make a shawlette kind of shawl. It was a small shawl for my daughter. I'll insert a picture up here. And the Spindrift shawl it was, and I loved the colourway, and I thought, you know what, when I saw her wearing the cardigan on her recent podcast, it reminded me that I wanted to get some more of that yarn, so I did. So let me just get it out of the bag and I'll show you. I bought a jumper's quantity, or sweater's quantity, hopefully anyway, hopefully it's a sweater's quantity, in DK weight. And this is the yarn, You Spin Me Round by Craft House Magic. Look at that. I mean, it's got pinks, light purples, cream, grey. It's like a kind of a grey base with all these little speckles. It's a speckled yarn. It is so, so pretty when it's knit up. And that's her label there, Craft House Magic. So the You Spin Me Round DK weight yarn is 225 meters. It's 100 grams, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. And that is that. And she is so, so lovely. She sent me a couple of bits to go with that, just to say thank you for buying from her. So I was really chuffed and surprised actually, because she sent me a pin badge, which is one of her pin badges, Craft House Magic, and she has two. I think she has this one and she has a all Barbara one, something like that, and she sent me the Craft House Magic one, but she also so kindly sent me some mini skeins, and this one looks like it's got stitch marker in there as well that says love on it. So I'm really thankful, grateful for that. Thank you so much, Ellie. That was really kind of you, and these will definitely find a home. So yeah, thank you. So I've got all this lovely squishy yarny goodness to make myself a new jumper or cardigan. I have a cardigan in mind, but if you guys have any suggestions, then feel free to leave them in the description box below, because I haven't started it yet. But I do have something in mind, but I'm always open to suggestions for something else for this beautiful speckled yarn. Look at that. I mean, look at at that. It's so, so pretty. I love it. I love that yarn. Can't wait to get using that. So yeah, so that was that. Let's see. What else have I been buying? I think I showed you the pixie yarn last time. Oh, I bought some new yarn here. So Andrea Mowry was having a sale. I think it ended yesterday, 31st of January. And it was 25% off of all her patterns. And like I said, I really want to knit jumpers and stuff. So I had a quick look. So many people have done the weekend jumper. So I purchased the pattern, 75% discount. And because I had the pattern, I thought, well, I might as well get the yarn as well then. And I was in Wilko's, which is Wilkinson's, and I saw this yarn, Loren Aran yarn, and it's a lovely grey, and the colour that she's used on her one is grey, and I hadn't actually realised that until I got home and checked the pattern. That is it. She uses an Aran weight, worsted weight she calls it, which in UK is Aran weight. So I picked up some Aran weight balls of yarn. This is not actually, I haven't put it on my Ravelry yet. So it's acrylic, 75% acrylic, 25% wool. And yeah, that is it there. They are massive. These are 200 gram skeins. So I've got, I think, 5 of these. I'm bound to have some left over. But it means that I can make the jumper as long as I want it to be. I don't have to worry about running out. So yeah, so those are my new yarn stashes. Well, that's all the yarn I've been stashing away. That is it. That is it, guys. I don't have anything else to show you. My battery is flashing up that it's dead, so I'm going to have to say bye for now. But do remember to check out the Ravelry group if you're interested in joining in with the make-alongs that are going on. The Winter Warmer one runs out or finishes at the end of February, but the Ready Set Go one you have until the end of March. So do check those out if you're interested. Thanks again for to my new subscribers for subscribing to my channel. I do hope that you have enjoyed this episode and you'll come back for more. As I said, I'll be back in a month's time with some new stuff, and I'll be announcing the winners of the Winter Warmer make-along, so do watch out for that. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I do hope you have a lovely February, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.